$32 trillion. That's how much the world's richest are hiding in untaxed offshore bank accounts. And somehow, it's all completely legal. In America, your check gets taxed. When you die, you get taxed. You could literally build your own house with your bare hands and still pay property tax. So how the fuck do billionaires and giant corporations pay nothing? Let's say you had a magic wand that can erase all of your taxable income. Well, that wand is called avoidance. More specifically, tax avoidance, not tax evasion. Tax avoidance is like exploiting the hidden cheats written in a game. As kids, we would try to find every little exploit and loophole in the game we played. Now imagine that with money. Real life legal tender that makes people get up and work 8 hours at a job they hate until they retire. And the craziest thing about all of this is that we are all playing that game. Whether you like it or not, the government set up the rules to have little loopholes that rich people can exploit. But you don't have to be rich to avoid taxes. In fact, these rich people don't own anything on paper. Let me explain. Let's say you buy a car. If it's in your name, you pay sales tax, property tax, insurance, and all of that. But if you register that car under a business, you can write off part of the cost. It becomes a business expense. Same thing goes for your phone bill, your laptop, even part of your rent if you're working from home. But here's where most people run into issues. That tax code isn't written for employees. It's written for business owners. You need to own your own business if you want to legally avoid taxes. That sounds hard, but it doesn't even have to be profitable at the start. It just has to exist. Big companies like Amazon, Tesla, and Apple use depreciation and loss carry forwards to cancel out taxable income, which basically means if a company buys a $100,000 truck, you don't deduct all of it at once. You spread it out over years. That's called depreciation, and it lowers your income every year. Then there's loss carry forward. If your business loses money in its first year, you can carry that loss into future years to cut into your profits. But you're probably thinking, what's the point of reducing my profits? I want to make money. Yeah, me too. But the less profit the IRS sees from your business, the less they can tax. If you do this right, that means you can legally be making millions of dollars and still owe nothing in taxes. In 2018, Amazon paid $0 in federal income taxes, despite generating $11.2 billion in profit. And they did this legally because of write-offs, credits, and carry forwards. Now here's the offshore part. When companies like Apple make money in countries with lower tax rates, they leave it there. They create foreign little sub-companies that technically aren't American. So when Apple made $30 billion overseas, they didn't bring it back to the US. Because if they did, Uncle Sam would be waiting to take that shit. This is called profit shifting, and it's completely legal under international tax law. Once your income gets big enough, you can set up an LLC for your content, another for investments, and another for consulting. And then you can funnel your money through them to legally reduce what's considered personal income. Now, like every old rich guy says, buy assets without the intention of selling them. Because when you sell something, you trigger capital gains tax. But if you borrow against it, it's not taxable. That's why wealthy people buy stocks, real estate, and businesses, but they never sell them. Instead, they take out loans against their assets at super low interest rates and live tax-free. This strategy is called buy, borrow, die. That's not even 1% of all the tax loopholes you can use to avoid the IRS without going to jail. Please subscribe.